Again, Gills fans, welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. Match preview shows are back. We are now just 3 days or so away from the opening day of the 23-24 season. It's a tough one to start with for the Gills. We've got to travel north to Edgeley Park to take on last season's playoff final runners-up. That doesn't make it any nicer, unfortunately, for fans of Stockport County, but they were that close. It was a shootout defeat between them and promotion to League One. So they, I'm sure, will be raring to go and to put that right and to hopefully go one step further from their point of view. I'm pleased to say tonight I am joined by the newest member of the Staff Bergara War County podcast. I will put the details in the description at the bottom of the video. Yes, joined by Mark Wagster. I will put his Twitter details down there as well. So go and give him a follow and the podcast, because that's where you'll need to look to find everything from a Stockport point of view in the run up to and after the game. Mark, first of all, I appreciate you coming on. I know we've then got to go and do the county podcast in a short while as well. So a busy evening. Football's properly back.
Yeah. Can't wait. It seems to have been gone for ages, and now suddenly it's here again. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
And obviously, last season was as close can be without actually getting it over the line.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a free hit. I think we were just glad to be back in the league, glad to be there. I know we had obviously a really good run after the first 10 games, which were atrocious. And yeah, ever so close. I think I wasn't that bothered before the game. And then as soon as it kicked off, I was like, oh, we've got to go up. We've got to go up. That
was going to be my next question. You said, oh, it was great just to be back in the Football League, but you're not telling me that you went to Wembley and went, oh, it's all right if we get beat.
At first, a couple of days before it was, but when it built up and I was stood there waiting to get in, and I was just like, no, we've got to win this. We've got to win. We've got to go up. We've got to go up. And then it was like, I was telling everyone I wasn't going to be bothered. I didn't speak to anybody for 2 hours afterwards. I just sat in the bus and sulked.
That's the thing, and we've had this chat like loads of times as Gills fans. We went to Wembley twice at the turn of the millennium, and it's the greatest way to go up if you can guarantee that you win.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's at least 270 minutes of feeling sick to your stomach beforehand to try and just get to that point, and there is no guarantees. We know that. That's why we are all probably stupid enough to keep coming back season after season and putting ourselves through the ringer again. But looking at last season, you finished fourth in the table, played 46, won 22, drew 13 and lost 11. You scored 65 goals, only conceded 37, ended up with 79 points, which was 3 more than Carlisle United, unfortunately. But that's the beauty, the joy, the heartache of the playoffs. We all know how it works before we get into it. 9-2 second favourites, according to William Hill. I had a look earlier today to go up. The team with the American and the Canadian are heavy favourites, Wrexham.
Yeah.
What's the feeling within the county fan base? Because obviously, from the outside looking in, everyone's going to see you as a big threat, and we'll get onto your transfer business in a little while. I'd imagine that feeling of just glad to be back in the league has now disappeared.
Yeah, because we came so close. I think everybody, as I say, the chairman came in 3 years ago, and he had a plan, and he said that in 7 years he wants us in the championship. And speaking with everybody, if we'd have gone up last year, we'd have been a year ahead of the schedule of what he's put in place. So this year it's promotion, and I think speaking to most of the fans that lads that I know and stuff, I think we're all, we got so close last year. We think we can go that one step further. It's got to be automatic this year. Don't want to be doing the playoffs. No, definitely don't want to be doing the playoffs. For the reasons we just said. But yeah, and I think, as you say, going about, but the signings that we've had, we've kept the core nucleus of the squad that we had last year, and we've improved it and brought players in that give us like a different angle or a different take for different games and stuff like that.
Sure.
So yeah, I think we're confident that we'll finish top 3, but don't know if we'll win it or not. But as long as we finish top 3, I don't think anybody will be bothered.
Yeah, of course.
No.
How much do you think the experiences of 22, 23 then potentially can help you or maybe hinder you? Because you know now that you're good enough to get into the playoffs. You know that you're good enough to compete at the level. You're good enough to at least challenge for them top 3 positions, like you said. But we have seen it go the other way. There's plenty of teams that have had a playoff campaign and then it's taken a while to get over. There's a fairly long hangover type situation, and you then struggle for the first portion of last season. I suppose what I'm asking is, you can't afford to start the same way that you did last season. And do you think that the experience will help you and that you'll kick on and want to right them wrongs, so to speak, rather than it goes the other way and everyone goes, oh?
Yeah, I think so. I think the can't really explain why we started so badly, but the only real thing that I can see is that we brought sort of probably eight first team players in, and then we shuffled the squad around quite a bit. So I think you sort of saw in those first few games was people didn't know each other and didn't fit in together. So I think that was probably one of the biggest things. Was, and the other one is that everybody says that these, the top of the National League is, good enough for at least mid-table easily in League Two, but the step up in getting pressed, taking chances, everything like that, everything is just that next level and just more clinical. Because I think, we make a 2-3 mistakes in the National League and you get away with it. Make 2 or 3 mistakes in League Two, and at least one of them, if not 2 of them, is going to be a goal against you. So I think that was the biggest shock for us. Went from absolutely steamrolling teams in the National League to suddenly playing someone that we're expected to beat, and we're 2-0 down. And it's like, well, where's that? How's that happened? Type of thing. So we had a big thing was to try and get rid of making those mistakes and stop having to try and score 3 goals a game to actually try and win a game.
Yeah, and I suppose, and also the mindset's different because, like you say, you were so used to just going and battering teams, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, hang about, this is a bit different. We've got to get used to this. And I think you had an issue with red cards at the start of the season as well.
Yeah, we did, yeah. But again, it was, and again, I don't know why that was. I wouldn't say that any of them. I think it was, I think we had 4 or 5 in the first 10 games, didn't we? And I'd probably say, for me, there was only one of them that I thought was a red card, and that was when I think it was Paddy Madden stamped on somebody, and it's like, well, hold your hands up. You can't get away with that. But then there was other ones where I just remember Southam Hales at Doncaster, and he went in for a ball that was bouncing, put his foot up. He was a foot away from the Doncaster player, and the Doncaster's gone down as if he's kicked him in the face, and then he's got sent off. And it's like, it's just like, what's going on here? So, it was swings and roundabouts, bit of ill discipline, or again, just getting used to the referees, the difference between the referees as well.
Well, we say they're not good but I don't know what you can tell us what they were like in the National League. But the standard of officiating for me in the EFL has just got worse and worse over recent years.
It was absolutely awful last year, absolutely awful. I thought it was going to be a step up for the refereeing, for the officiating from the National League, and I thought the National League was probably better.
I'm not surprised you said that, to be honest. There's some. You get used to it the more because you start recognising names and that type of thing. Yeah. But there's plenty. There's not many where you go, oh, we'll be all right today. It's more a case of, oh, yeah, it's him again, brilliant.
Yeah, the best one we had was what was the woman called Welch? Right. No, not Rachel. Rebecca.
Rebecca Welch.
Rebecca Welch.
An actress, I think.
Yes. I always want to say Raquel Welch, but Rebecca. She was brilliant because you didn't notice her.
That's what you want.
The whole game. To me, a referee should be invisible and just do what he needs to do and not be wanting to be centre of attention. Which I think that's the big issue. Yeah, that's what it seems to be. Quite a few of the referees want to make it. It's about them.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Kettle's been one for years, but he's thankfully retired. I think Darren Drysdale's one. He's the one that got caught, who potentially headbutted a player a couple of seasons ago. I know he sent Neil Harris off the back end of the season before last when we got relegated out of League One as well. But it's interesting when you say that, like I say, because I've not sort of asked the question of a comparison previously, but certainly in League One and League Two, it's not great. Yep. One final question about last season, and then I want to talk about your transfer business this summer. Carl Worton was obviously a huge player for you throughout the season and then missed the final portion of the running. Just how big a miss was Kyle? Tell us what he brings to Stockport County, and would you have gone up if he'd been fit?
I think we would have gone up if he'd have stayed fit.
Mm-hmm.
We played to his strengths. He's unbelievable at being able to hold the ball up, gets the ball in his chest, brings it down, and he'll sit there and it's just like a mountain. People are trying to get around him, and then he'll just look and pass the ball to somebody else that's got some space and that type of thing. And yeah, he's just a nuisance. He's not proper. He's not a full-on shit house, but he's getting there. So
I think you need at this level. No disrespect to the level, you need players like that focal point where you can play off of, and someone that is going to be a bit nasty and a bit of an arsehole to play against. Yeah,
and then we didn't know how to play without him. So once he got injured, we're still trying to play that same ball, but we've not got another striker that is the same as Worton. So we started to struggle trying to find a plan B. I think that was the biggest thing, and that's when we started struggling and coming up against teams that wanted to just get a draw, wanted to just get a point from us.
Our manager said it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend otherwise. We came for a point and we got a point.
Yeah, I mean, but you can see that, and that's the thing that as we start talking about transfers and stuff, I think that's what we've got different again this year, is being able to be having the tools to break teams down, even if they want to park the bus.
Sure,
but I think we would have. Yeah, I think we'd have gone up if he'd have stayed fit.
Yeah, because I remember the game at our place, which was probably sort of 6 games, from the end of the season, and I thought we deserved to win that day. I thought it was just night and day compared to the game at Edgeley Park where we just came and sat in and spoiled. I felt so sorry for the centre forward that night, Tristan Abrahams, who's now gone back to his parent club, who just basically done doggies between your 3 giant centre halves for 75, 80 minutes. I think he touched the ball about 3 times. And one of them was to kick off one of the halves, I think. But I thought, weirdly, because what you say about Carl Worton is probably what we say about Ollie Hawkins. He's not going to score you loads and loads. He's not going to get you 20, 25 goals, but he'll get you to double figures, and he'll directly or indirectly supply goals for others with how he plays the game. But he went ill, like literally the day before the home game against your lot. So we had to play Tom Nichols up front on his own, and we looked at the team that day and thought, how's he going to do that? I mean, you've got Chris Hussey, you've got
Horsfall,
Fraser Horsfall, and there was one other as well.
Is it Akil Wright or
Akil Wright.
Or Martin Byrne?
Niall Byrne. I think they all 4 played. I think Akil might have played as almost like a wing back that day.
Right,
because you had Carl Norton. But yeah, it was 3 of them, all huge.
Yeah.
We looked at sort of Tom Nichols, 5'6", 5'7", and thought, how are we going to get anything out of this game? But he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And from there, we've almost learned how to play a different way, which was really good. And I thought, based on the game and what I watched, and probably a little bit of bias, that we deserved all 3 points. But credit you boys, obviously that's why you ended up in the playoffs, because you kept going to the very end. You probably weren't at your best, and you found a way to get a result. Let's talk about
I was going to say that was a rearranged game, wasn't it? We were supposed to play you before Christmas, and it got called off for a frozen pitch.
That and Bradford, I think, got called off for a frozen pitch. Yeah.
Because that'd have been completely different. Because obviously before Christmas, you was atrocious, weren't you?
I think we was. I've heard of a rain dance. I'm not sure of a frost dance, but if there is one, we were definitely doing it as Gills fans in the run up to what eventually became the takeover 2 days before Christmas, which completely changed us. Let's talk about transfers. I think you can tell me different in terms of I've not got them all, but I think obviously one player that's moved on that was a big part of your success was Chris Hussey. He's gone to Walsall, maybe to do with age, maybe to do with the fact that he probably wouldn't play as much this season. You've replaced him, I think, with let me say the names I've written down, then Mark, and then you can talk me through them. Ibu Touré's come in from Salford, I think, as probably an upgrade. No disrespect to Hussey. Billy Chadwick from Hull, don't know a lot about. Obviously, the big one is Nick Powell from Stoke City, which is a ridiculous signing at this level. And then I think there's a couple of loans as well. Jaden Richardson from Aberdeen, and I think Louis Barry was announced in the last sort of 24, 48 hours from Aston Villa.
Yes, Chadwick, we signed him on a free from Hull. He left Hull in the summer. He's actually just gone out on loan yesterday to Gateshead.
Okay. So he's
Yeah,
one for
so
the
he's gone.
future then.
Yeah, we've only signed him on a 1-year contract, but they're putting him out on loan because I think he's coming back from a bad injury. So
Okay.
getting decent first team experience. He's got a 1-year extension if needed.
Okay.
So if he has a decent season there, then he comes back and he gets a year extension. If he's not very good, then he's gone at the end and he's not really cost us anything. So
yeah, one of them low risk type of ones.
yeah, Ibu Torre. I think he's an upgrade. He's normally, I think, speaking or seeing him, he's more of a left back or a left wing back, but he's been playing left centre back for us in pre-season, so I think he'll stay there. But yeah, I think he's an upgrade, and I think you could see by the amount of abuse that we got from the Salford fans that he's a good player.
That's always
a
taking
tell,
a
isn't
direct
it?
rival as well, isn't it? It's not just you bought in a good player. You've weakened Salford, who were in the playoffs as well last season. So it's almost a double win.
So Nick Powell. I mean, if we keep him fit, he's seen him. I've only been to one pre-season game against Preston, and he's just you can just tell he's just different gravy. He's just his touch, his vision, and I think that is what we need. Is that he's got the skills that can unlock teams that want to put 10 players behind the ball. He can spot things and he'll just like ping a ball out, or he'll hit it and go for a goal and put it on target type of stuff. So yeah, if we keep him fit, I think he's going to be a massive player for us. I think the other thing is Louis Barry come from Villa. I can't remember, he's been on loan a couple of times, but I think he's just turned 20. So he said himself, this is like make or break. He wants to make a real impression because he wants to go back and make it at Villa.
Okay.
But he was a player that's equalised in the Villa versus Liverpool game in the FA Cup when it was the COVID game where Villa couldn't put a side out because of COVID, so they put the youth out, and he's the one that scored the equaliser for Villa. So, and he was on the books for Barcelona. So, not many League Two clubs can say they got a Barcelona player.
No, I'd imagine you might be the only one, in fairness.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, again, I think he looks good. I think he'll fit into the system. He's good with the ball at his feet. He can run at players, take players on, which again I don't think we've really got as in the strike force. So again, there's a different angle that we've got if we need to change things up.
It looks like it gives you a good mixture then. So if you've got him, you've got Madden, you've got Worton back fit, and obviously Isaac Olofi as well, who seems to be almost like a player that can do both sides, big and powerful, can run in behind, stretch it, hold it up, that type of thing as well. So it certainly gives you more strings to the bow. And like you said, it might be the difference between playoffs and the top three if you can and find a way to unlock defences a bit more.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that they've looked at, is to try and give us the tools to break teams down that are going to sit and put 10 players behind the ball and just want to just defend all the time. So hopefully we should have, like say, better tools. And Worton should hopefully be back in October, and I think he'll come back.
He's still not quite fit then?
Yeah, he's still not fit. He's back. Yeah, I think they said he should be back in October.
So still a couple of months away then, which is a bigger frustration as well. But like I say, you've got more options now. Hopefully you don't miss him as much. Well, hopefully they're all rubbish on Saturday, of course. After that, they can all be really good.
Of course, yeah.
It's usually at this time that I sort of say, what's your team news and who's available, who's unfit, what do you think the team's going to be? Obviously, it's more difficult to do that because we've only watched pre-season friendly, so I'm not expecting you to give me your 1 to 11, but I assume that Dave Challoner's not going to go too far away from what was successful last season.
No, I don't think so. I think we'll still play three at the back, 2 wing backs, then 2 holding midfielders, and then it's a case of whether or not we put an attacking midfielder in and 2 strikers, or we play with like 2 wide strikers and a central striker, which I think I've seen him. He's done that for a couple of the games. So I think for me, it'll be Madden down the middle and then Barry and Powell on either side of him.
Almost like two sort of slightly wider 10s.
Yeah.
Rather than a central 10 and then 2 out and out front men. And then what you say, when Worton's back, you can probably mix it up and go to a genuine front 2.
Yeah, I think that. And then Camps has been playing quite well pre-season. I think him and Crowsdale, because got a couple of Nichols with Sarcevic is possibly out. Collar's out.
Shame.
Yeah, he's close, but he's not quite ready. He played 45 minutes on Saturday in the against Preston, but Challinor said that he's not quite ready to be starting. So we'll see. He might be on the bench, might come off the bench. Yeah, and then I think I'm not sure if he's going to play Southam Hales on the right or if he's going to play Richardson, the loanee from Aberdeen. And then I think it's Rydell on the left, and then it'll be Torre, Horsfall, and probably Kyle Noyle as the back three.
I was just about to say, you said, from the right, and then I thought, where's Kyle Noyle gone? Because I thought he's the best.
He's been playing him as he's been playing him right centre back for pre-season.
It's very Gareth Southgate, isn't it?
Yeah. But again, I don't know. We'll see, or we might put Ackle right back in there. He's obviously taller, stronger, so maybe
Akil Wright was one that stood out in the home game when I said I thought he was very good. I thought he was just very good at striding out from the back and creating an overloaded midfield. It didn't almost come off. A couple of times he'd give away sloppy possession and get you on the back foot. But I just thought there's not many centre backs at this level that are that brave to keep doing it and keep trying to play.
Yeah, we got him from York, and he was actually a defensive midfielder, and they put him in as a right centre back, and everyone was like, "What on earth are you doing here?" And yeah, I thought he had a really, really good season. Played really well in that position, and as you say, come out with the ball. Just needs to learn not to try and run through three players. I think that's what he tended to try and
I think that's what I remember.
Times.
And I was quite surprised. I think he come off after about an hour. I was like, that's not a substitution I'm disappointed with. I think whoever came on might have ended up sort of being involved with the goal eventually. But, at the time, it was quite a nice substitution from a home point of view, I thought. But just shows the options that you've got, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
In terms of Gills, we've got question marks as well. The club did an open training session on Monday. Glenn Morris, number one from last season, didn't train. Well, hopefully he's back and available for Saturday. So I think the goalkeeping position's up for grabs at the moment because Jake Turner's been really good in pre-season. He played 17 times last year as well. So it's not like it's someone that we think, is he going to be all right coming into the first team and playing games? So Conor Masterson, who we signed on a permanent, he missed the training session as well. Ollie Hawkins has not featured since Italy when we went out there middle of July. I think he played against Cambridge behind closed doors and didn't last too long and had to come back off. So he's a doubt. Both Williams, Sean and Johnny missed the last friendly, but did train on Monday. So I'm hoping they're going to be all right. It looks like there's a few question marks over both squads, which tends to be the case. Unfortunately, players coming back are not quite at the same levels, and these niggly muscle problems can be apparent in the early stages of the campaign. Big question then, Mark, before I let you go, and then we prepare for the other podcast. Score prediction.
I think 2-1 or 3-1 to County.
Fair enough. Again, I say this all the time. I don't expect fans of other teams to not back their team. Certainly one that was very, very good last season and finished sort of 15 places above us. I'm always of the sort of notion that almost like in a World Cup first game, if you don't get beat, it's not a bad result at all. And I think we'll be better, certainly than we were in the game at your place last season. In terms of, I think we'll be braver with the ball. We will try and play. That might play into your hands. We don't know. It might leave us open at the back. But generally, last season, defensively, we was fine. It wasn't a problem. It was just because we couldn't score a goal in the first half of the season that it almost exasperated the problems defence. So if you conceded one, we was all right. It's game over. Whereas now we've got different threats. Ashley Naderson's recently come in from Crawley Town. I think he'll cause problems because he's certainly got pace that we lacked last season, which made us a little bit one-dimensional. I've written mine down. I'm going to go
1-1. Okay.
Been a pleasure, mate. I really enjoyed that.
That's all right. No worries. Thanks for inviting me.
Appearance on Zoom for a little while. And yes, Gills fans, like I've said, and Stockport fans, if you are still watching at this point, thank you very much. Please comment down below. Let us know what you think your team will be come Saturday, 3 p.m. Let us know what you think the score will be come Saturday, 5 p.m. Will Mark be happy? Will I be happy? Will we both be okay and still talking to each other because it's been a draw? As always, thanks for doing all that you do. I say it all the time. These channels, these podcasts are nothing without an audience. So please keep liking, subscribing, retweeting. Details for the County podcast and Mark are in the bottom, like I've already mentioned. Go and give them a follow. We'll be back Saturday for Match Day Live. Nice early start. Be an early finish as well, because it'll be Sunday by the time I get back to Kent. But until then, enjoy the rest of your week. We will see you Saturday, and up the Gills.